Hey guys, most of you know me, but if you're watching this video and you don't know who I am, then I'm Kyle, and that's Shere Khan. That's my cat. She's the best. Um, but I'm excited about today because I woke up this morning and I was done with my Whole30. And if you don't know what the Whole30 is, it's basically, I mean, it's a diet, but it's more of a appetite change because you can't have dairy, grains, legumes. So beans are out. I love beans. Um, yeah, beans are out. That means peas too, and I'm a big fan of peas. Wheat? Did I say wheat? Wheat? No, dairy, grains, legumes, wheat, sugar. Definitely no added sugar, anyways. Natural sugar, totally fine, but added sugar, nope, can't do it. So that means no sodas. And if you knew me before I started this, uh, I had a food group for sodas specifically. All that time I was supposed to be drinking water. I was actually drinking sodas like Mountain Dew and Dr Pepper and everything like that. And the last thing is, and I'm pretty sure it's because it's mainly from wheat, but it's no alcohol. But I don't drink. I didn't really have a problem with that one. That one was pretty easy because I've gone 27 years without it now, 27 and a half years without it now, and I'm not gonna start anytime soon. Uh, so yeah, that's the Whole30, and I just got done with that. And before I started, I was a big dude. Well, I still am a big dude. I mean, that's just how I'm built. Just under 6'2". I'm pretty much resigned to being above 200 pounds for the rest of my life, which is fine. But I definitely would rather be on the lower end of above 200 pounds than on the higher end of above 200 pounds, which is exactly where I was uh, 30 days ago. 31 days ago now, actually. Just a little bit of backstory here. About 2 months ago, I was reading in First Corinthians, and I read a couple verses that stuck out to me a lot more than usual. And the first one was First Corinthians. Hang, I've got it on my phone. Let me make sure I get the address right here. First one was First Corinthians 6:19 and 20, and basically what that says is your body is a temple for the Holy Spirit that's living inside of you, and you were bought with a price, so glorify God with your body. And yeah, I grew up in church, and I've heard that verse so many times, but it never really impacted me the way that it did when I read that. Um, and I started thinking, and I was like, am I really, am I really glorifying God with my body? Because I was almost 300 pounds. Might have been actually touching it. I'll tell you why I don't know exactly why I know how much I weigh or how much I weighed. You'll find that out in a minute. But I read this verse and I was like, I'm not really glorifying God with my body. And then I skipped ahead a few chapters just because. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure why I skipped ahead a few chapters, but I came up on the verse 1 Corinthians 10:31, and in this verse it says, "Whether therefore ye eat or drink, and whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God." And I was like, well, this is very specific. And in context, Paul is talking about meat that's been offered to idols, and uh, glorify God with what you eat. And sure, yeah, you can eat meat that's offered to idols, but if it causes another believer to stumble, then don't do that, because you need to glorify God with whatever you eat or drink and whatever you do. So that's where that verse comes into play. But the principle is still there. The principle is still a thing. So I was like, Well, this is super specific here because I know I'm not glorifying God with how I eat, and definitely not with how I drink. Like, it's not glorifying to God to eat nothing but junk and drink nothing but soda. So after I'd read these couple of verses and I'd seen them, and that's another verse that you hear if you grow up in church. It's another verse that you hear all the time, and eventually you just hear it so much that the meaning got lost to me for both of those verses. Because I mean, I heard it so much growing up, and by the time I was out of elementary school, I knew the verses by heart, and by then it's old hat. Okay, yeah, I know that verse. I don't know. I never took it to heart. So yeah, I read these and I was like, well, yep, I need to change something. But it's food, and I love food, and I love sodas, or I loved. I don't know how I feel about sodas anymore, but I didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to give it all up. I knew I had to do this thing, but I didn't want to. So, also, I mean, I didn't really know how to, because I don't, I'd never dieted before. I'd never nutritionized my food or whatever the word is. Uh, I don't know. I never paid attention to that stuff. I just ate what I wanted, whatever. So I really had no idea how to do this, and I didn't want to do this, so I didn't really look either. But a couple weeks rolled around, and work was starting back up. Um, I'm a teacher, if you don't know, so I had the summer off. Love it. Uh, but work was starting back up, and I was trying to find a way to do this because I'd realized that I needed to do it, especially if I was going to, tell my kids that they need to obey what God is telling them. Tell my students that if I'm telling them that, but I'm not doing it in my own life, then it's just gonna ring hollow to them, and they can tell when people are being fake. So I can't tell them, hey, this is what God is telling you, you need to follow that, if God has been telling me for, at this point, it was almost a month now, that I need to fix this habit with my food and what I drink. So if I'm telling them to follow God's lead, but I'm not following God's lead, then it's not. They can tell when you're being fake, especially middle schoolers. Middle schoolers are a lot smarter than people give them credit for, but they're also a lot dumber than people give them credit for, and that's another story for another time. But so I was thinking about all this, and it was around this time. Actually, they started August 1st, but my brother and my sister-in-law started a Whole30, and they were doing it, and they were talking to me about it, and I realized, I was like, well, this is what I need to do, because my brother had only been on it for 7 days, about a week at that point, and I could already tell that, he lost a little bit of weight. He looked a lot better than he did just a week before that, as far as weight and things like that go. So I was like, well, this is what I needed to do. So there's a cookbook. I used that like 9 or 10 times. I just, I'm not much of a cook. I had eggs a lot, and that was okay. I like eggs. I'm a big fan of eggs. Um, I couldn't get some of the stuff I would normally eat that I thought was healthy, and I realized it had this stuff, and it was healthy, but it didn't fit the rules, the super strict rules for the Whole30 thing. So I did that. I did it for 30 days, and there's my cat again. I did it for 30 days, and I'm really happy that I was able to complete it. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. So during this whole 30, I learned quite a few things, and this is the main crux of the video. I know I kind of went on earlier, but this is the main crux of the video. This is what I want to tell everyone. So I learned during my whole 30, I learned 5 things, and this is basically what I learned. Okay, you're gonna have to. Some of them are pretty silly, but the first thing I learned, and this was like right before I was starting, because I was like, you know, I would like to see how much I weigh, and I would like to see how much I weigh at the end, but good bathroom scales are pretty expensive. And I know you're like, Kyle, it's like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. Well, listen, that's a lot. I gotta save up that kind of money. So I don't know how much I weighed to begin with, and I don't know how much I weigh now. I might stop by my parents and use their scale, but it's just going to be guesstimation on how much weight I lost. I can tell you that I look a lot better, and probably at this point or a little before this, I've already flashed up a picture, like a before and after, of like my face and my man boobs and my love handles, my muffin tops, and all that stuff. So that's probably already happened. If not, there it is, or there it is, or here, whatever. I can tell you that the Armada gave me this jersey for Christmas last year, and I hadn't been able to wear it. I'd never been able to wear this jersey because I was just too fat. But clearly you can tell that I'm wearing it, and I mean, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more room for it, room to grow on, but I'm not gonna grow, don't worry about that. So even though I don't know exact numbers, and I have been saving for a bathroom scale, so as I go forward, I'm gonna have one, and I'll be able to keep track of my weight loss. But yeah, bathroom scales are expensive. I couldn't do it. So I don't know how much weight I lost, but I can tell you that I've had obvious results. I've had students coming up to me and saying that it's clear that I'm losing weight. I've had other teachers say things. My mom also works at the school that I work at, and she said she was walking across the parking lot and didn't even recognize who I was. So, I mean, if your mom doesn't recognize you, then you know things are changing for you. So it's definitely been beneficial for me. It's definitely been a big help as far as getting me started on my weight loss track. The next thing I learned is I'm really sad that I don't miss dairy anymore. If you know anything about me at all, or even if you know just a little bit but you don't know this, I'm a huge fan, and I've always been a fan. Growing up, man, cheese is my thing. Okay? And that I knew that was going to be the hardest thing for me, was the no dairy. Because I mean, what other adult doesn't like a little bit of chocolate milk before bed? And I really love cheese, especially on tacos. So I couldn't have cheese, and I mean, sometimes, man, when I was a kid, I'd just be like, hey, let's just cut up a few blocks of cheese. Not a few blocks, that's a lot. Never ate that much. Don't worry about that. But let me cut up a block of cheese into a few pieces, and then eat them up. Not the whole block either. I don't know. I didn't eat a lot, but I would just, basically what I'm trying to say is that I would just eat cheese straight, just be like, you know what, I'm in the mood for some mild cheddar. Let me pop it in. Hey, there's some Colby Jack over there. Let's do it. All right. So the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was missing it. Well, not the first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks, I was really missing it. I watched a YouTube video, and it's Good Mythical Morning. I don't know if you guys watch it. They're actually pretty huge. They get like millions and millions and millions of views on every video that they put out each morning. But they did. I watched one for the current day, and then YouTube did what it does, and it cycles back to like an older episode or something. Well, this older episode was a cheese taste test, and I knew I shouldn't have watched it, but I did. And the next thing I knew, I was online looking at the prices of a couple of the cheeses that they tried, because I was like, that sounds really good. And then I almost bought one, and then I realized, like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And for the next 3 or 4 days, I was just like, can I just go swimming in a vat of cheese somewhere? I just want something. You know, I'll take Velveeta. I know it's fake. I'll take the cheese whip or whatever it's called. I just want something. But I made it through. And then I don't miss dairy anymore. It's kind of sad, because I mean, I just told you guys all the story about cheese and stuff, but I miss missing cheese. I know it's my alarm telling me to get ready for work. But I miss missing cheese. And I'm definitely gonna have some tonight. I'm gonna reward myself with a meal, and hopefully I'm not dead tomorrow. It's a brave new world as far as not having any limits or anything, no boundaries on what I can eat. And don't worry, I've already set schedules and stuff. Like, okay, I can only eat out on Sundays and Wednesdays, and this is all I can eat during the week, and this is when I'm eating, and this is when I'm working out, and stuff like that. So I'm all set. But today's Wednesday, so I'm living it up. And I'm probably gonna regret it very soon afterwards. Probably gonna spend some quality time with my toilet. I don't know. We'll find out. But sure. The next thing I learned, okay. The next thing I learned was having you have to have somebody who's gonna keep you on the right track. And I'm thankful for my brother and my sister-in-law, specifically my sister-in-law, Julie. She would text me, and she would encourage me. There was one time in Facebook, and this was about the time that I was missing all the cheese, but I also lost my appetite for a couple days, like where I literally didn't want to eat anything. Like didn't want to eat a thing, and I was forcing myself to eat, and I was just like, okay, I haven't eaten in almost a day. I need to eat something. So I'd scramble up an egg and just force it down, and I hated it. I wanted to spit it back out, but I knew I needed some sort of nutrients. So I was hating it, and it was about that time that I put up on my Facebook. I said something like, I hate every decision I've ever made, and something or other. And she texted me. She's like, Kyle, you're on day 12. I think it was day 12 or 13. She's like, these are the hardest days. You can do this. You're almost halfway there. And it was texts like this that she would send me periodically. She sent me one just the other day. She's like, you're almost done. I'm so proud of you, and stuff like that. And it was texts like that that really helped me get through it. So when you're doing something like this, you really need to have somebody to keep you on the right track. And this, you can also include this for just anything you're trying to change about yourself. You can't do it alone. If I hadn't had Julie to send me those texts, it always seemed at just the right time too. But if I hadn't had her to send me those texts, I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it past day 12 or so. Whichever day I was hating myself and hating my life, and kind of missing cheese, but also hating food. And I wouldn't have made it past that. I would have gone out to Moe's and gotten a burrito or something. And it just wouldn't have worked. So I'm glad I had Julie, and Matt definitely helped me a lot too, with just, I mean, he texted me once or twice about things, and just, you know, when we talked, and I'd go over to their house, and she cooked us some curry chicken once, and that curry chicken was really great. I wish I had a blender so I could make it myself, but poor people problems. Um, but yeah, you gotta have someone if you're trying to make any significant change about yourself. You gotta have someone to just keep you on track and to keep you moving towards your goals. Okay, this next thing I learned was one of the big things, one of the biggest, most surprising things about what was happening with the Whole30. This thing I learned is changing your eating habits literally transforms your life. All right, 30 or so days ago, 35 days ago, I had problems getting off my couch. I've never had problems getting off my couch. All right, I've always been. I played soccer. I mean, pretty regularly. I skipped out on a few years. I played soccer since 8th grade, and then, I had my time playing college soccer. I wasn't that great at it, but I love doing it, and I still love soccer. But so I'd never had a time where I was big enough to where I would have problems getting off of the couch, and it's like this is ridiculous. Well, I know it's a little thing. Last night I just popped right up off of it, and I was like, that feels really good. That feels really good. But I knew it was about 2 weeks. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks in. I don't know. I can't keep track of them. It was a Saturday morning. And I woke up and I was like, I'm going to do a little exercise. So I did a little exercise in my living room. And it was the weirdest thing ever, because normally I have to plan for that stuff. But I just woke up and decided to do it. And I knew then that something was kind of clicking up in my mind. And I sleep better. I'm dreaming now, which is definitely a sign that I'm getting deeper sleep. I can sleep longer. Before, just because I had so much caffeine and so much sugar and so much terrible stuff in my system, I couldn't sleep more than 5 or 6 hours. And I'd just wake up. There was nothing I could do. But now I can sleep 8 hours. In fact, I kind of need 8 hours of sleep, which is a really good feeling, because I wake up, I feel refreshed. I feel refreshed and ready to go for the day. It's really great. And yeah, it's totally changed my life, transformed it. I think about food in such a totally, entirely different way. It's a crazy feeling. I never thought I would think about food this way. I don't even want pizza, guys. Like, pizza is not even on a craving of mine. It's the weirdest thing. I eat so much pizza. I mean, I'm a single guy and I live with a cat. Okay, that's like the perfect recipe for, oh, it's Monday, let's order pizza. Oh, it's Tuesday, let's finish the pizza that I ordered yesterday. Oh, it's Wednesday, okay, today we'll stop at Moe's. Oh, it's Thursday, let's order pizza. All right. So it's the perfect. My ideas about food have totally changed. And it's just crazy. Like, I'm glad my school has a weight room, because I've already ordered some protein and some creatine and stuff like that. That's gonna help me out as I'm working out. It's gonna be pretty cool. I've already set a schedule. I've already made workouts. I've been keeping track of my food for the last week or so, which is crazy because I'm kind of lazy about that stuff normally, but it's totally different now. I've been able to wake up. I woke up today at 5:15, and I mean, I started working on this. I actually trimmed my beard up because it's picture day. But I woke up today at 5:15. I've never been able to wake up at 5:15. It's just changing my food habits has just totally transformed my life in a way that I love. I got distracted by headlights there. I just love how this has transformed my life, transformed my thinking, and just transformed my life. It's crazy. It's crazy cool. The last thing I want to share with you guys that I learned, and this was the biggest one. I learned that food had become an idol in my life. Well, I'll give you guys a little backstory here. Okay, so I played soccer, like I said. Then I had then I played in college. For the college I went to, they're starting a new team, and when I heard the coach tell me that he just needs bodies, I knew I was set. I was on the team. Okay, I figured I wouldn't do much because I hadn't played in since I was out of high school. So that was at that point after I'd already been to a school and transferred, changed my degree and stuff. So I'd been in college for about 5 years. Um, so I hadn't played it in about that long since high school. So I knew, my technique and everything and all that would be subpar, and it was for a while. But eventually, I got a lot better. I'm a lot better at soccer now than I was when I graduated high school. And there was a point at that time that I was down to 220 pounds, and I look pretty good, at least comparatively to now. I know some people would just look at me and they're like, "Eesh." And I know that's a face thing. I can't help that. That's how I was born. But I mean, I look good comparatively because due to look the weight they should tend to, look better. I mean, it's just how it is. Somebody out there will think you're attractive. At least that's what I'm telling myself. But I lost the ability to play soccer. I sprained my ankle really badly. And then while I was working out and working back from that, I got bit by a dog, which when that healed, there was a lot of scar tissue in my calf, and it wouldn't fire the right way. It wouldn't do what it would do. And then in the process of all of this, my body overcompensated on my knee, and now I've got tendonitis really bad in my knee. So if you ever see me playing soccer and I feel like I'm going to be semi-competitive with it, I've got a big brace on my knee, a big brace on my ankle, and then little braces on my other knee and my other ankle. So I look like the Bionic Man out there. But it was through all of this that happened, plus a mix up with the number of hours I had taken, because I was a part-time student, but also kind of a full-time. It just depended on the semester. I just couldn't play to begin with because I was too injured. There was too much going on with my knees and ankles and my legs. But I also wasn't eligible. So I lost the ability to play soccer. I got really depressed because at that point soccer was my idol. I cared more about soccer than I cared anything about the things of God. And at that point, I got really depressed. I couldn't play soccer anymore, which I'd only been playing competitively for just a year. At least in college competitively. But it had become my life, and I love soccer. And I lost the ability to play, and I got into a really deep. I was depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I was just like, this is stupid. I failed a couple of my classes because of it, which is why it took me 8 years to get through school. But I didn't care, and the only thing that would make me feel better, at least I thought, was food. So I started eating because it made me feel better. I didn't even think at that time that, yeah, food's gonna make you feel better, but that's only gonna last for a season, and it lasted about 3 years. Until, well, 2.5, until I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm bigger than a house. I gotta change something. And then I didn't, and then I read those verses. You guys heard the story. So I didn't do anything about it for 3 years, and it made me feel better for a while, and then, but I didn't even process that, the food's gonna last, and it's gonna last for a season, but my ultimate joy, my ultimate, path out of depression is gonna be Jesus. It's gonna be God. I didn't even think about that. Food became an idol for me. So from 2013, this is about October or so, until I started work. My first year as a teacher was a year ago. So between October 2013 and August of 2015, I gained about 70 pounds. I mean, again, that's estimating because I'm too poor to afford a bathroom scale, but I gained about 70 pounds, which is crazy. crazy. Okay, that's a lot of weight, and I looked like a whale. It was ridiculous. I went to I yeah. It's just it's bad. I mean, you guys saw the picture. I realized that, like I said, I realized that food had become an idol for me, and it had taken the place and taken higher importance in my life than God had. And I mean, this went on all the way up until I mean, I kind of realized it when I read those verses in Corinthians, like I said, but I didn't really realize it until it's just a week ago or so. I was listening to Shuffle, and there's a great song that Jimmy Needham sings. It's called "Clear the Stage," and I'd listened to it. The first time I listened to it, it was super powerful, and this was about. I want to say it was about the time that all the stuff with soccer was happening with me. I'm not sure. Might have been a little bit after. I can't. I can't give you an exact date. But I listened to it, and the meaning of the words really caught on with me. The food had become my idol, and I'll find a music video or something, and I'll put the link in the description so you can listen to the song. I want you to listen to the song, and I just want you to listen to the words and take those words to heart, and just think about anything in your life that might be an idol for you. I mean, my food time had taken up time that I should be spending with God, or because of my food, because of how I ate, because of how I drank, it was limiting my ability to spend time with God. And I've been able to, just because of this Whole30 change, because of everything, I've been able to plan that, okay, I'm going to wake up at, 5:30 or whatever time. I normally wake up at 6, but I'm going to wake up half an hour earlier. I'm going to be able to wake up half an hour earlier because of this Whole30. And I'm going to spend time with God, and just spend time with God each morning. Spend some time reading my Bible, spend some time reading this devotional book that I have. I've actually had it for like 8 or 9 years, but I've never cracked it open. It's really great. Just the 5 or 6 that I've read. It's called My Utmost for His Highest. If you're looking for, it's an old school book, but if you're looking for a devotional book or something to push you through some things, get that one. I promise. I promise it'll be great for you. So that's what I learned. Food was my idol, and now because I've gotten rid of that idol, because I don't struggle with that. At least I haven't for the last 30 days, just because the Whole30 lifestyle changes totally changed and transformed my life. I don't struggle with that. So now I can wake up, I can spend time with what I want to spend time with, and that's spending more time with God and spending more time reading the Bible and praying. And it's just that's the biggest thing I've learned is food was an idol for me. And there's a ton of implications about that, just in my life and what I do with my church and everything like that, that I'm hoping things are just going to get really awesome from here. I'm praying that'll happen. But that's the biggest thing I learned was food was an idol for me. And I'm glad that Whole30 has helped me realize that, and that prayerfully and with a lot of help from my friends, I'll be able to move even further from being at that point. That's what I learned on my Whole30. That's my Whole30 story, as I guess I'm going to say. I don't know if they say it, but I'm going to say it. I've already set a goal. I want to be around 200 pounds. Nope. Scratch that. I want to be under 200 pounds. Okay, 199.8 is under 200 pounds. But I want to be under 200 pounds by September 1st, 2017. It's going to be tough. I have no idea how much I weigh right now. I'll stop by my parents tomorrow on the way to my sister's in Orlando, and I'll find out. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard. I know it'll take a lot of work. I'm estimating that I'm around 260 or so. Just from what I've known in the past, like when I started working out to get back on the soccer team, I was about this size. I weighed about 260 then. Might be a little different now. I don't know. But I'm estimating I'm around there. But I want to be 200 pounds or under 200 pounds. I mean, that's my goal. Under 200 pounds. Under 200. By September 1st next year. Which, that'll be... Yeah, it's been a while since I've been under the 200 mark. Since I've been out of the 200s. Unless I topped off and hit about above 300, which is definitely possible. So yeah, that's my goal. September 1st, 2017, I want to be under 200 pounds. I mean, like I said, it's a total life transformation. These last 30 days have been. I'm hoping some of you guys will want to join me on that or help me out with that. And I'll definitely be posting more stuff. I tried to be a writer. I tried to start a blog for the Armada, and I was okay at it. I realized I hate writing. I'd much rather talk, because I can talk. I can get words from my brain to my mouth, but somewhere around here or so, they just lose it. I cannot get words from my head to my hands, and that's been a problem I've had since elementary school. Just ask my mom about book reports and stuff. I just drew a blank. I don't know. See, drew a blank. Yeah, that's gonna be my goal. That's my goal. That's my story. Whole30. If you are thinking about doing it and you know you need to make some food changes, I recommend it. Absolutely, do it. Go for it. I have the Whole30 book. I'll let you borrow it. Just talk to me. Send me a message, and I'll let you go. I'll let you do it, and then I'll make sure that you stick with it, and I'll help you out as you go through it, especially if you're trying to make changes in your life and lose weight like I did, because I know the struggle. So I'll be there for you. Just let me know. And I've set a goal, and I want you guys to stick with me and just follow my path to 200 pounds. And that's all I wanted to say. I took up way too much time to say that. It is almost 7:15. I need to get a shower and head to work, and I have to do all of that in less than 15 minutes. So, I hope you guys have a good day, and if you watch this video, then I want you to know that I'm praying for you. If I know you by name, I'm praying for you by name. If I have no idea who you are, I'm still praying for you. I just want you to know that this task seemed impossible, but with the help of friends, the help of family, and definitely, absolutely, with the help of God, that it became possible. With man, it may seem impossible, but with God, all things are possible. And might be a little out of context there, and probably not exactly what the verse is meaning, but I'll take a tiny amount of liberty with that and apply that here. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day.